Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zooming in, focusing on just one small detail, one specific signal maybe hiding in the language.
hmm
It's from your source material, Trump's Iran airspace claims.
That's right.
And our mission really for this deep dive is just to pull apart one very specific statement he made
Yeah.
and try to understand, what the implications are of how it was phrased, the exact words used. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How just a few carefully chosen words can carry so much weight.
Yeah.
The statement we're really looking at is this. We have completed our very successful attacks, Trump said in his post. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace.
Right. And that second part, the follow-up, all planes are now outside of Iran airspace. What's interesting is how specific it is,
Mm,
especially right after the more general claim, very successful attacks. It's not just we're done or planes are back. It names a place, a boundary.
exactly. That's the key distinction. If you think about the context, mentioning Iran airspace
Mm.
specifically, well, it pins down the operational area, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not just any border. National airspace, that's a really sensitive thing in international law, a sovereign domain.
Okay.
So it tells you not just that the mission's over, but where it was limited to, and crucially, where the planes were after it finished, relative to that specific territory.
So it implies a defined objective, something that was met and then they consciously moved out.
Precisely. Compare that to something vague like, I don't know, operations are concluding. That leaves things open.
Right. Ambiguous.
But this phrasing
Yeah.
is pretty definitive.
Yeah.
Very little ambiguity there.
So, okay, it's not just what happened, but where it happened, and like you said, where it stopped.
hmm
The all planes are now outside bit, especially paired with completed our very successful attacks. It paints this picture maybe of a neat surgical operation.
Yeah, sort of began, did its thing, achieved goals, and then deliberately withdrew from that specific zone.
It sounds almost like a status update you'd hear in the military, but this is obviously for the public.
It is, and it communicates this really clear signal. Finality, yes, but also control.
Control.
How so?
Well, it suggests not just success in the attacks themselves, whatever they were, but also like a disciplined execution
Hmm.
and a controlled withdrawal from a sensitive area.
Okay, I see.
And, this kind of very specific language in diplomatic circles and military comms, it's often about managing how things look, managing expectation.
And for who?
Yeah.
Allies, adversaries.
Both, potentially. It's a calculated way to maybe show restraint, but also signal a clear endpoint. We're done here.
You know, I hadn't quite thought of it that way, that the success part
Yeah.
includes the tidy withdrawal, the discipline.
Mhm.
But couldn't such a precise statement also maybe sound a bit defensive?
Mm.
Like they had to say they were out to prove they didn't go further? Does that make
Oh,
sense?
that's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely. It cuts both ways, or maybe multiple ways. It speaks to the different layers of communication happening.
So yeah, maybe domestically it says, we were in control, it was successful, contained, effective.
Reassuring the home audience.
Right. But internationally,
Mm-hmm.
it could definitely be read as a de-escalation signal. You know, the operation is over, we're not pushing further.
And what about to the adversary? Iran, in this case.
Well, to them, it clearly marks the line, either a line that was respected or maybe a line that was crossed and then deliberately stepped back from. It's
Right.
almost like saying, right, we did what we came to do, and now we've packed up and left your property.
Ah, that's a vivid image. So it takes this abstract idea of success and makes it concrete.
Yeah, by tying it to a place, a geographical action you can sort of measure. And it sends different messages depending on who's listening.
The precision is where all the nuance is, though.
Exactly. It's a rhetorical move, really. Aiming for strength, control, and a definite stop, all in one breath.
Okay, so let's recap for everyone listening. We've been looking closely at that specific phrase, all planes are now outside of Iran airspace, which came right after very successful attacks.
Mm.
And the key thing, it seems, is how packing in that geographical detail, Iran airspace, lets one statement do a lot of work.
Yeah, it communicates about the scope, the endpoint, maybe the strategic intention behind the operation,
Yeah.
and it signals different things to different people watching.
So something for you, the listener, to think about. When leaders use these very specific geographical boundaries like Iran airspace, what does that tell us?
Yeah, what does that emphasis reveal about how they communicate complex events, especially the success or perceived success of those events to the public? And maybe how might that public message differ from, say, private communications or signals sent directly to an adversary? What power do you think those precise words actually hold?